Good day, everyone. I am Eliza Marie M. Tingoy, and I am a proud second year college student taking up Bachelor of Elementary Education at Romancy Villalon Memorial College's Foundation Incorporated. I am grateful to speak with you today, not just as a college student from RCVM CFI at Kibawi, Bukidnon, but as a future teacher. And today, I want to speak about something that is very close to my heart: teaching. Many people see teaching as an ordinary job. Some think it is just about standing in front of a class, writing on the board, and explaining lessons from a book. Some think teachers only work a few hours a day. Others believe teaching is an easy profession compared to others like medicine, law, or engineering. But today, I stand here to challenge that thinking. Teaching is not just a job. Teaching is not just a career. Teaching is not just a source of income. Teaching is the noblest profession. And because it is the noblest profession, it deserves the best preparation, the highest standards, and the most capable and committed candidates. Why do I strongly believe this? Because teaching shapes the human mind. Because teaching builds character. Teaching influences the future. Teaching carries a responsibility that affects not just one life, but generations. Today, I will explain why teaching is the noblest profession, why it must be not treated as a second choice, and why it demands nothing less than excellence. Teaching builds every other profession. Let us begin with a simple truth. Before someone becomes a doctor, they were first a student. Before someone becomes a lawyer, they were first a student. Before someone becomes an engineer, nurse, architect, pilot, scientist, or president, they were once inside a classroom. And who guided them inside that classroom? It was a teacher. There is no profession in this world that does not begin with a teacher. Doctors saves life, but who taught them how to read medical books? Engineer builds bridges, but who taught them mathematics? Lawyers defend justice, but who taught them how to think critically? Scientists discover cures, but who first sparked their curiosity? It was the teachers. If teaching stopped today, every other profession would slowly disappear tomorrow. That alone proves something powerful. Teaching is the foundation of society. A building cannot stand without a strong foundation. In the same way, a nation cannot stand without strong teachers. If teachers are weak, the nations becomes weak. If teachers are unprepared, the future becomes unprepared. If teachers lack integrity, society suffers. But if teachers are excellent, prepared, and committed, then the nation grows strong. Teaching is not at the bottom of the professional ladder. It is at the very base that holds everything up. That is why it is noble. Teaching shapes the mind. The human mind is powerful. It can create inventions. It can solve problems. It can change the world. But the mind must first be guided. It must be trained. It must be developed. That is the work of a teacher. A teacher does not just give information. A teacher teaches students how to think. A teacher helps students ask questions. A teacher helps students analyze situations. A teacher teaches students how to solve problems. In the classroom, Students do not only memorize facts, they learn how to understand the world around them. Imagine a young child learning how to read for the first time. That moment opens a door. Suddenly, that child can explore books, ideas, and knowledge. Suddenly, that child can dream bigger dreams. That door was opened by a teacher. Teaching is noble because it unlocks human potential. And when you unlock potential, you unlock possibility. Teaching shapes character. Education is not only academics. It is not only about grades, exams, and certificates. Education is also about values. There are students who come from difficult homes. Some face poverty. Some face broken families. Some face abuse. And some feel lonely. Sometimes the safest place for them is the classroom. And sometimes the most stable adult in their life is their teacher. That is not a small responsibility. That is sacred. That is noble. Teaching influences the future. When a teacher enters a classroom, they are not just facing 30 or 40 students. They are facing 30 or 40 futures. Inside that classroom could be a future mayor of Kibawe, a future governor of Bukidnon, a future inventor, a future entrepreneur, a future teacher who will continue the cycle. The words a teacher speaks today may echo 20 years from now. A teacher who says, "You are smart," may give a student confidence for life. A teacher who says, "You are useless," may create a wound that lasts for years. That is how powerful teaching is. Teaching has long term impact. A single lesson can inspire a career. A single encouragement can prevent someone from giving up. A single belief can change someone's destiny. And because the impact is long term, the responsibility is heavy. This is why we cannot allow unprepared individuals to handle this responsibility carelessly. Teaching requires excellence. That is why teaching deserves the highest standards. Teaching requires deep knowledge of subject matter, understanding of child psychology, skill in communication, ability to manage classrooms, emotional intelligence, cultural sensitivity, creativity, patience, and dedication. It is not enough to be okay. It is not enough to say, "Pwede na." Mediocrity has no place in teaching because mediocrity in teaching produces mediocrity in society. If we want excellence in our country, we must start with excellence in our teachers. Teaching is not a second choice. In some places, teaching is treated as a backup plan. Some people enter education because they did not pass other courses. Some think teaching is easier than other profession. But if we truly understand the power of teaching, we would realize that it should never be a second choice. It should be a first choice for the brave. Because teaching demands courage. Teaching is not for those who want comfort. It is not for those who want impact. The responsibility of preparation. That is why teacher education programs are important. As a student in RCVM CFI, I understand that our lesson planning, demonstrations, practice teaching, and evaluations are not just requirements, they are preparation for real lives. When we write lesson plans, we are learning to organize learning experiences. When we conduct demonstrations, we are learning confidence and clarity. When we practice classroom management, we are preparing to guide real students. When we study theories of learning, we are learning how students grow and develop. All of these are not just academic tasks, they are training for a mission. Just like soldiers train before entering a battle, teachers must train before entering a classroom. Because once we enter, the mission begins. Now let us talk about something serious. If teaching is a noblest profession, then we must also ask, what happens when teachers are not prepared? What happens when the wrong people enter the classroom? What happens when teaching is treated lightly? The answer is simple but frightening. The future suffers when an unprepared teacher stands in front of a classroom. The damage may not be seen immediately, but slowly it appears. A teacher who does not understand the lesson deeply may teach wrong information. A teacher who lacks training may confuse students instead of helping them. A teacher who does not know how to manage behavior may create a chaotic classroom. A teacher who lacks patience may destroy a student's confidence. These are not small mistakes. These are long term consequences. If we truly believe that teaching is the noblest profession, then believing is not enough. We must act. We must support teachers. We must invest in teacher education. We must raise standards because great teachers do not appear by accident. They are formed, they are trained, they are supported, they are valued. A well trained teacher today can influence hundreds, even thousands of students throughout a career. Imagine a teacher who teaches for 30 years. If they handle 40 students each year, that is 1,200 students. And each of those students influences others. The impact multiplies. Investing in one teacher is investing in generations. This is why schools must choose and train teachers who are committed, responsible, and dedicated to the profession. Institutions like RCVM CFI play a very important role. They do not just give diplomas, they shape future educators. When colleges provide quality instruction, strict evaluation, and real teaching practice, they protect future students. Strong preparation produces confident teachers. Confident teachers produces successful students. Because society can provide training, but I must choose growth. Teaching is noble, but nobility requires effort. As I close, ladies and gentlemen, teaching is not a small profession. It is not an easy profession. It is not an ordinary profession. It is the profession that creates all other profession. It is the profession that shapes mind. It is the profession that carries the future. And because of that, it deserves the best. It deserves the best training. It deserves the best standards. It deserves the best support. It deserves the best candidates. We cannot afford to be careless with education. We cannot afford to lower expectations. We cannot afford to treat teaching as a backup plan. If we want a strong nation, we must begin with a strong teachers. If we want wise leaders, we must prepare wise educators. If we want innovation, integrity, and progress, we must invest in those who stand in front of classrooms every single day. As a future teacher, I accept this responsibility, not lightly, not casually, but proudly. I choose to prepare seriously. I choose to aim for excellence because teaching is not just what I want to do, it is who I am becoming. And I believe with all my heart that teaching is and will always be the noblest profession. Thank you, and may we continue to respect and uphold the dignity of teaching.